Hello, hello. Welcome, welcome. I'm Ashley, and tonight we are going to be talking about a topic that has come up when I'm discussing with authors about what they should include in their book description. So I decided I'm going to go ahead and do a quick late night live. The baby is asleep, and so I'm able to come on and talk with you briefly. But before I get started, I do want to invite you to my summer sales and marketing masterclass series. Got the flyer over here. Everything's backwards. Um, and so this is one of the topics that we'll discuss further in the sales and marketing masterclasses. If you're on IG, you can't see the flyer because the screen is vertical. But if you're interested, each class is $99 and you can get all four for $300. So buy three, get one free. And we'll be talking about getting sales on Amazon, creating raving fans, meaning people who will market your book for you, getting bulk orders so that way you are able to sell tens, thousands, hundreds of copies of books at a time, and then also book marketing basics. So let me know where you are watching from in the world and what your book is about. All right, so tonight we're going to be talking about how your book description is costing you sales. And this is something that I've seen on a couple different authors, their Amazon listings. We'll specifically be talking about Amazon tonight. And it's something that's fixable, but it's something that people are often not aware of. And so, with this, one thing I was noticing is that I was talking with some authors over on Threads. Yes, Threads is still alive and well. It's actually on and popping over there for authors specifically. And so, and it's a great platform for authors because it's just writing. But that's another topic for another day. Um, Somebody was asking, okay, well, I'm not really seeing the sales that I want to see on Amazon. And um, of course, we know Amazon is the world's, or maybe you don't know, but Amazon is the world's largest bookstore. They actually started off as just a bookstore way back when, and then now they've changed into this monopoly conglomerate, yada yada. So, whether or not you agree with their sales practices and things like that, keep in mind that if you are not on Amazon and or if your book is not selling well on Amazon, then you are missing out on sales. And so another topic for another day, we'll talk about how to still get people over to your website even if you sell on Amazon. So, but anyway, long story short, the author was saying, I'm not seeing the sales that I want to see on Amazon. And so I said, okay, let me take a quick look at her Amazon listing. And one of the first things that I noticed is that her book description for the back of the book was the exact same as the description as the blurb that's on Amazon. And I'm actually going to show you an example of what you should do and talk about what was wrong with hers and what's likely wrong with yours as well. So, on the description, like I said, she had the exact same thing on the back of the book and on the description blurb. And one of the reasons why those two things should be totally different is because that those are for two different audiences. And I know that kind of sounds weird. You're thinking, okay, well, if I'm doing my back of the book description, that needs to be something that describes the book. And it does. And then same thing on Amazon, your description needs to be something that describes the book. However, they're going to describe the book in different ways. So, for example, the back of the book, and I don't have any books near me that I could just get real quick, but the back of the book description, that's something where somebody is physically picking up your book to look at your book. They are reading the back of the book. It might be in person, it might be at a bookstore, it might be at a festival, some kind of vendor event. It's going to be something where people are picking up the book to physically look at it, and then they are going to decide at that point if it's something that they want to purchase. And when you think about your description on Amazon, people will look at the back of the book. However, they're primarily looking at that section that's right underneath it. So if you're on mobile, as you're scrolling, it's going to be the portion that's right underneath the book when they actually click on the book. And so you want to make sure that it's something where you are going to do what's called stop in the scroll. So of course, people are going to look at the cover, and then the next thing they're going to look at is the description. The cover is going to reel them in. It's going to bring their attention. And then the description is going to let them know whether or not they're in the right place. So if they are in the place of, okay, this is actually where I should be. This is the book that's for me. It's something that, okay, I know that this is going to be a good option for me. And so with that, your description also does something on the back end, so behind the scenes. Now, one of the reasons why Amazon is able to sell as much as they do in general, not just books, is because they have what's called metadata, which is simply just things that are behind the scenes that are letting the customer find the things that they want. So, for example, I have a book light. And so, like, it's got an adjustable little, whatever this thing is called. It has a bright setting and a dimmer setting, and then it's also a USB chargeable book light. And so, for me, this is convenient because, and I'm going somewhere, y'all, so go with me. This is convenient because I can read in the dark. So if I'm like feeding the baby at night, and then I won't wake him up, it won't be shining bright in his face. Or if I just need a light to see something, I can just use it. And the fact that it's rechargeable, I don't have to worry about the batteries. I don't have to think about, okay, how am I going to get this thing to work? I don't have to plug it in. But say all that to say, that's not something that I knew that existed when I was looking for a book light. I was just looking for a book light. And so whatever I typed into Amazon, let the Amazon algorithm, the search engines, it let it know that, hey, this person is looking for a book light. She has certain preferences. She's likely a reader because I purchase a lot of books on Amazon, or I download a lot of books, and also on Audible. So they know, okay, she probably reads a lot. So she's probably going to want a book light that has some features that are not just the standard option. And so, say all that to say, when you are posting your book, you are going to want to include things within your description that are going to align and match with the things that people are searching for on Amazon. And one of the top mistakes that I see people making who are trying to sell their books on Amazon is that they pick what are called those keywords and categories. They pick those that don't align with what people are typing in. So, for example, thinking about, okay, so my hair is natural right now. I mean, my hair's not, it's been natural, but my hair is in its natural state. It's curly. And so, way back when, most people didn't know their curl pattern type. So if you had curly hair, your hair might have been referred to as like kinky, coily, nappy, even. Obviously, we don't use that connotation now, or we don't use that now because it has a negative connotation. But nowadays, people know, oh, I have 3B hair, or I have 3C hair, or I have 4C, or whatever the case may be, so they know they can type those things in. And then the search engine will pull those types of things that are for them. So the same thing with your book. There's certain things that your customer is going to type in that may or may not be the same thing that you type into your description to describe what your book is about. And so the way that you can kind of bridge that gap is making sure that you have keywords and categories that are aligned to what your book's topic is, and using tools such as Publisher Rocket or Amazon Keyword Extender. And we'll talk about how to use those in the Waking Up to Amazon sales class, which is class number 2. And so if you are checking that out, and let me put that in the description as well. So if you're just joining, I'm talking about why your book description is costing you sales. And you can join us for the, let me put my flyer back up, the Summer Sales and Marketing Masterclass series. And with this, you will get access to each class. If you get all 4, buy 3, get 1 free. And if you just want one of the classes, that's fine. It's $99. And the first class starts tomorrow. We'll be talking about how to understand who your ideal customer is, and that affects everything else. So if you want to join that class live, then definitely sign up for that one. It's the first one after the bundle. And if you are watching this later on replay, then you will still be able to have access to the classes. The price will stay $99 until the end of this month, the end of July. And then after that, it'll jump to $199 per class. So what I was saying is that when you are finding what types of things you should be putting in your description, a lot of authors decide to just let it be something where they're just figuring it out. And like, okay, well, I think somebody's going to type this in. I think this is what people will search for. And generally, that's wrong. You should use those tools that are created for the purpose of Amazon, such as Publisher Rocket. That's the one that I highly recommend. You should use those tools to make sure that you are finding the things in the wording that are the actual correct wording for what people are searching for. And then once you find that wording, those keywords, which are going to be generally phrases, I know they're called keywords, but generally phrases that people would type in to find your thing, then you're going to want to make sure you include those in your description. And I'm going to show you an example of what that looks like. So thank you so much, Melanie. Yes, I'm trying some things out. It's hot for the summer, so I said I'm not going to straighten it. So, all right, so I'm going to try to show you a description from one of my clients. Fingers crossed that this works properly. Okay, perfect. All right, so on Instagram, hopefully you can see. Let me know in the comments if you can see over on Instagram. But with this, you are, let me see if I can do my mini camera. Let me try this one instead. There we go. Okay. Um, so with this is one of my clients who who we helped publish her book back in 2022. And for hers, her description includes what I was talking about with those keywords and categories that are placed properly in order to increase her sales. Okay, thank you, Melanie, for letting me know you can see it. So with hers, we've included certain wording because we did her description for her. We've included certain wording that we know is going to come up in searches for her book, for people that are searching for similar books or people that are searching for books that are, well, yeah, okay, so I'll just say that for similar books. As well, we've included things that are going to be eliminators for, and by we, I mean me because I wrote her description, but I've included things that are going to be eliminators for people who they do not apply to. So, for example, this is called Self-Love Journal, 12 Ways to Love Yourself Like God Wants You to. And for her, she is a Christian temperament coach, and she helps people to love themselves so that they can live full lives. And so we did her back of the book as well. And let me see if it'll show properly. I think it's not going to. Oh, there we go. Okay. So just going to read it. And you'll notice some of it is an extension. Some of it is similar to what's in the written description, but it's slightly adjusted in order to have the wordings, the keywords that are going to be pulled up on Amazon when people are typing things in. So it says, do you have a hard time practicing self-care? Need easy and manageable tips to set boundaries in your life? Feel like you're always putting yourself last? Tired of overcommitting because you can't say no? And then it just goes to say, okay, the self-love journal will show you 12 ways to love yourself like God wants you to. Setting boundaries and creating healthy spaces mentally, physically, spiritually, and emotionally does wonders for your self-care. Get your joy, peace, and contentment back using the steps in the guided journal. As Christians, much of our day is focused on helping others, and now it's time to help yourself. Okay, so I'll kind of pause there. So now let's look at this. So first of all, the description's longer because we want to give Amazon more of that, I don't want to call it SEO, but more of the juice to let it know, hey, this is something you need to kind of pull all of this information from. And the more you tell it, as long as it's geared towards your book and as long as it's geared towards your topic, then it's going to help you out and be beneficial. And so some of it is the same. So like this sentence is the same because it fit within the context. At the same time, there are certain things, like I said, to eliminate folks. So for example, that part about being Christian, and then this part down here, it mentions being fearfully and wonderfully created, being who God has fearfully and wonderfully created you to be. That's something that's a common phrase for folks of being fearfully and wonderfully created. So that's going to be something, okay, well, if I'm a Christian woman, then that's a phrase that's going to stand out to me that, okay, maybe this book is for me. And then noticing up here, these parts are bulleted, so it's easier for someone to say, okay, I can quickly read this and I can see whether or not this applies to me. And then some of the phrases, so like self-love, that was one that came up pretty often. Practicing self-care, this was a phrase that people typed in often into Amazon according to the search engine tools that I use, such as Publisher Rocket, and I can add a link for that. And then also there was another one. I want to say, so this part was not necessarily one that was, so setting boundaries, that one was. But this next portion, creating healthy spaces mentally, physically, spiritually, and emotionally, that part was not something people are going to just randomly type into Amazon. However, it was important to include because it shows, okay, this is a holistic approach to being able to take care of yourself by using this journal. So those are, all right, let me go back to my main screen. So those are some of the things that you would want to include when you're doing your description. Let me go back. When you're doing your description, you would want to include some of those things so that not only are people able to find you, but also when they get there, they know, okay, this is the book for me. And so during the class, Wake Up to Amazon Sales, we'll talk about how to find those keywords, how to find those categories, how to make sure you're in a category that's competitive, because competitive yet something that you can be able to rank well in, because I know that of course folks want to have Amazon bestseller status. However, at the same time, we don't just want it for a day, an hour. We want it to be something where you're continuously getting bestseller status, because that is how you get ranked higher and how people are able to find your book, and eventually how you're able to get sales. And so we'll talk about how to update your description so you're including those keywords, so it's something that you're able to be found, where you're not having to chase sales all the time. And then also how to find those categories, the description, and also how to use the tools to be able to help you. So if that's something you're interested in, definitely join me for the summer sales and marketing masterclass series, tongue twister. And the first class is tomorrow. So we'll talk about how to create raving fans. And those are people who are going to recommend your book for you, and help you on your author journey. The second class will talk about waking up to Amazon sales. The third one will talk about book marketing basics. And so if you're someone who's like, I am not so good at book marketing, I need help, and you want to work closely with me, then definitely join that class. And then the last one is bulk book orders, and we'll talk about how to sell dozens, hundreds, or thousands of copies of your book to organizations, nonprofits, and things of that sort. And so I will stick around for just a moment to see if there's any questions. I'm going to look over on IG to make sure I didn't miss any questions. And thank you for tuning in over there. And all right, so I'll wait just a few seconds. And if you're watching on replay, let me know, #replay. And you can add your questions even if you're watching after the fact as well. So, and I'll add the link for the class if you'd like to join, or the classes if you'd like to join, but you're welcome to just grab one, or if you buy 3, then you can get the last one for free. So let me put this over on Facebook. Okay, hopefully that posted. All right, there we go. All right, so I don't see any questions, but as always, you are more than welcome to add them there, and hopefully I see you in the classes, and hopefully tonight's topic has been helpful to you. So that way you can update your description, because Prime Day is tomorrow and the day after. So definitely use this to help you get more Amazon sales. Have a good night.